This episode of Falmouth in Focus is brought to you by the following corporate underwriter.
John's Liquors, 729 Main Street, Falmouth, 508-548-2287.
Join us for a special milestone episode of Falmouth in Focus. We celebrate 200 episodes by reflecting on the show's legacy and highlighting the inspiring work happening in our community today. In this episode, we talk with County Commissioner Mark Forrest about important issues facing the Cape, visit the Falmouth High School tennis court dedication in honor of Jack Reardon, and cover the American Parkinson Disease Association's Optimism Walk. All this and much more on this edition of Falmouth in Focus, starting right now. Hello and welcome to Falmouth in Focus, our bi-monthly roundup of local events and FCTV member engagement with the community. I'm Michael Kasparian.
And I'm Eileen Preston. Before we dive into today's show, we have a special message from longtime Select Board member and big FCTV supporter, Doug Brown.
Congratulations, FCTV Falmouth in Focus, for your 200th episode. We really look forward to seeing these shows that you produce. They're very informative and keep us in tune with our community. So thank you.
Thank you, Doug. We appreciate your support and recognition as we celebrate this milestone.
And you've been a big part of this journey too, Michael. So, having hosted over 150 episodes, it's hard to believe the show's been bringing our community together for 9 years now. Let's take a moment to look back at the origins of Falmouth in Focus.
Falmouth in Focus came about as a result of a prior program, the Village Green, back in the spring of 2010. In developing the Village Green, the idea was that staff would produce a program which showcased Falmouth along the lines of the magazine program Chronicle. With limited staff, the program was done quarterly for several years, but we always envisioned producing it on a more regular basis. As we were able to grow our staff, and with the addition of Liz Lerner and Alan Russell in 2015, we were now positioned to take this program to the next level, and so Falmouth in Focus was born.
So the Village Green just wasn't timely enough for our audience being a quarterly show, so we decided we needed to change something, and we relied heavily on the exclusives that we had been shooting previously to incorporate into a new program that we decided to call Falmouth in Focus.
I think some of the original ideas behind making the show were we wanted to create a show similar to the Village Green, but perhaps more newsy, where we could really inform and connect with the Falmouth community. So we always wanted to make sure we're informing the community about happenings and news events, but also connecting the community with their neighbors and with the stories of the people of Falmouth. And I think that was kind of our original goal, was to do those two things, but in a format that was easy to watch, that was twice a month, and that people could really be entertained by as well.
Liz and Alan, while both new to Falmouth, immediately immersed themselves in our community, and together we developed a program that, by being produced twice monthly, was more current and able to highlight many more organizations, events, and happenings in our town, as well as provide more timely updates on municipal meetings through our regular feature, 3 Things from Town Hall.
For our very first episode, I remember it being quite a collaborative effort with myself, and I think the whole staff is on board with something, whether it was doing a community package or doing the 3 things that you need to know from Falmouth government. It was quite an undertaking for the first show, but once we got rolling and really understood how we were going to package the show and package each segment, we really got it underway. So I think that first show really let us create a layout for how Falmouth in Focus was going to look.
The entire staff had to come together to make enough programs for the original Falmouth in Focus to really get off the ground, and that's still true today.
Once we got a feel of kind of the calendar of events of the town, I think it became more simple to find our story ideas. But also a lot of it, again, was just talking to the community and finding out what's on people's minds and what people are really passionate about and want to talk about. So it made it kind of easy.
With the help of our production staff, we have developed a program that all of Falmouth benefits from. We are proud to have been recognized for several of our features by our national organization, and most especially to have helped both residents and visitors alike get a real and meaningful look at all that makes up our beautiful and unique town. Through Falmouth in Focus, we have a legacy of Falmouth over the years, and we look forward to continuing now and well into the future.
I really got a lot out of my time working on Falmouth in Focus. It was incredibly fulfilling to connect with the community and members and really tell the stories of people in Falmouth. And I think it's just going to continue to do that because, especially because of the new facility here, there's really something for everybody. If somebody wants to produce a small packaged piece for Falmouth in Focus, you can teach that. You have the equipment for that. It's fantastic if they want to host a cooking show, if they want to do poetry and prose and speak on camera. There's really all sorts of opportunities here at FCTV, and they're really state of the art, and it's just a fantastic thing to have in our community. I think Falmouth is pretty lucky with that.
It's been an incredible program, shining a light on the hard work of hundreds of organizations and individuals while keeping our community informed about what's happening right here in Falmouth.
To continue that tradition of informing our viewers, I recently sat down with County Commissioner Mark Forrest to talk about some of the issues currently facing the Cape. One of the issues we discussed was the potential machine gun range at Joint Base Cape Cod.
The end of September will be the end of this fiscal year. Before the fiscal year expires, the Guard has to make a decision on awarding a bid to actually build, not the entire range, but to build a portion of it, a significant portion of it. Over the past week and a half, and actually several months, the county commissioners, but citizens groups, residents, and environmental groups all across the Cape have been weighing in, urging Governor Healy to step in, because it seems that this project is still on a track to happen in spite of all of the criticisms and the concern and the opposition. One of the procedural issues is that this land is conservation land. All right, it's not military land, although the Guard uses it. It's conservation land, protected under Article 97 of the Massachusetts Constitution. And what that means is that in order to do a project like this, you need to get 2/3 vote of approval from each branch of the legislature, and you have to meet a host of other conditions. Our hope is that the governor's office will weigh in and prevent the project from being awarded, and then we can get back to work with our friends at Joint Base Cape Cod on other things where we have tremendous agreement on.
And just 2 days after our conversation, Governor Maura Healey intervened and halted plans for the machine gun range. For a deeper understanding of the challenges facing Cape Cod, check out our full discussion on our website at fctv.org.
We're going to take a quick break, but when we return, we'll explore a recent charity walk that brought the community together for a great cause. Stay with us.
I wonder if you know that I want the best for you. That I know what you're going through. I know things aren't easy, but you still show up. I wonder if you know that we can get help. That we don't have to go through this alone. Let's see how far we can go. Love your mind.
Welcome back. AmeriCorps Cape Cod has continued its tradition of service and community engagement as the newest group of members were sworn in during a ceremony at the Barnstable County Courthouse.
This year marks the 26th cohort, and we had the opportunity to hear from keynote speaker and program alumna Margaret Song about the impact and importance of AmeriCorps' work right here on Cape Cod.
Hi, my name is Margaret Song, and I'm a Year 4 alumni of AmeriCorps Cape Cod, and we are here at the swearing-in ceremony for AmeriCorps Cape Cod.
The day that she asked me, I was at a conference, and a guy said, oh, you know, he was introducing himself, and it came up that I was part of AmeriCorps Cape Cod, and he goes, wow, you guys are a different breed. And I said, oh God, okay, what does that mean? And his answer was, in the face of adversity, AmeriCorps Cape Cod members meet it with positive action You take those situations and you make a difference. And you do it every day. And what I'm really excited about is seeing how year 26 makes an impact. Because I think every day you guys are going to see the impact that you make for all of our communities. Thank you.
I have a lot of memories. So I was year 4 and we're in year 26. And as I said in my, swearing in ceremony, this really is a program that changed my life. And so, after that, I met my husband, I have a child, we're in the community, and every day when I drive by places, I can see where AmeriCorps has really made a difference. And I think, just reflecting back on all the wonderful things that AmeriCorps has done over the years, I think is an amazing thing to do.
This year, we have a smaller group. We have 11 members, typically recruit for 20. But even with 11, we have a very powerful, mighty crew, as we say. We're really excited. About 50% of the Corps is not from the Cape or Massachusetts. So I'm really excited introducing them to things like clam chowder and beaches and the seasonal changes that come, with the weather and things like that. On top of that, we're excited to just complete 1,700 hours of service per member. Every member completes that number over the 11 months, really giving back to a new community that they never lived in before.
I am most excited for getting to know the people in this community and being able to make a positive impact here.
Oh, I have a lot of hopes for this program. AmeriCorps Cape Cod every year has seen a lot of members who make a huge difference. And so what I hope continues is that we still have a lot of active membership, people wanting to be part of the program. We still have partners and legislators that are here to support it, because every day we are literally making a difference. We're helping with conservation, we're helping with disaster preparedness. We're doing so many wonderful things that people never see, and I think people reap the benefits of it in this really special place.
At FCTV, we're honored to welcome another AmeriCorps member into our organization this year, and we look forward to the positive contributions they'll make to our community. AmeriCorps continues to inspire and strengthen Cape Cod, and we can't wait to see what this new group of members will accomplish.
The American Parkinson Disease Association recently held its annual Optimism Walk, an event dedicated to raising awareness and support for those affected by Parkinson's. We had the opportunity to speak with key leaders, including Massachusetts Regional Executive Director Bill Pat Jane and Chapter Vice President Jay Zavala, to learn more about this year's event and the positive impact it's having on the community.
I'm Bill Pat Jane, the Regional Executive Director for the American Parkinson Disease Association. And today we're here in Falmouth at Falmouth High School for this year's Optimism Walk. We've got a great crowd today, and we're looking forward to raising a lot of funds for important programs and services here on Cape Cod. I'd like to pass the mic over to Jay Zavala, the Vice President of the Mass Chapter.
Thanks, Bill. It's really a pleasure to be here and to be with FCTV, talking to all of our friends. We've raised in excess of $49,000 so far, and our program hasn't ended yet. All of those resources stay here on the Cape and serve people with Parkinson's and their caregivers across Cape Cod. It's wonderful to be part of this organization. Research, education, and support services that are just phenomenal and help us so much.
In Boston, we have an information and referral center that anybody can call. It's a toll-free number that will be able to provide you with resources, educational materials. They also help with presentations and also help with managing the support groups, along with training of those support groups.
Good morning. I'm here to walk today. My husband's been diagnosed with Parkinson's last 7 years, and we're here to support the Rocksteady boxing team from Plymouth. And it's a great cause to support the Association of Parkinson's Disease, because every 6 minutes someone's diagnosed with it and have a family member or friend. So we're hoping to meet the 55,000, I believe, was the goal. I think they might exceed that today. So glad the sun's coming up.
Part of the challenge as it relates to the PD diagnosis, Parkinson's disease diagnosis, is that everybody progresses differently, everybody needs are different. And what we do with APDA here on Cape Cod and in Massachusetts is we help people navigate the process from the inception of the diagnosis all the way through the entire process. And what we do here on Cape Cod and Falmouth is that we bring the community together and all the resources to make sure that people have everything that they need. And the monies raised from this Optimism Walk are going right back to the community. We've got education, virtual education, in-person education, support groups, and we have a financial hardship program. And so additionally, beyond that, we're helping fund research, not only in Boston, but across the entire country.
What I'd like to add to this is that monthly we meet over at the Falmouth Recreation Center, where we have a support group gathering, some 20 to 25 individuals either have Parkinson's disease, like myself, or the caregivers that help them enjoy a good life. And APDA is a part of all of that. So it's a pleasure to be part of that organization.
Yes, and you may be able to see my button right here. We'd like to try and find a cure, but in the meantime, what we're looking for is to make sure that individuals that are living with Parkinson's disease, along with everybody in their group, has all of the important services that they need in order to navigate while we're waiting and working really hard to try and find a cure. So thank you so much. You can donate to the walk. Just go to the APDA Mass website if you're interested. You can donate, and we look forward to seeing you here next year.
If you'd like to support the fight against Parkinson's or learn more about the work the American Parkinson Disease Association is doing, visit their website at apdaparkinson.org.
And we're going to take a quick break, but when we return, we'll take a look at a fall favorite. Stay with us.
When I was growing up, my mom was extremely tidy. We were trained to put things back where we got them from. One day, when I walked into my mom's house, I felt like I walked to someone else's house. There was stuff everywhere. And just growing up the way I grew up, and to see this transition was very alarming.
When Sean talked to me, it was a wake-up call, and that's when I went to the doctor.
Welcome back. Falmouth High School recently honored the life and legacy of longtime coach, teacher, and athletic director Jack Reardon.
Yeah. In a heartfelt ceremony, friends, family, and alumni gathered to dedicate the school's new tennis courts in his name. A fitting honor for someone who shaped Falmouth's sports culture and inspired generations of athletes. And let's take a look at this emotional tribute.
On March 26th of 24, the school committee voted to name these tennis courts after Jack Reardon, the former athletic director of the Falmouth Public Schools. As the former athletic director and tennis coach at Falmouth High School, Jack was more than a coach. He was a mentor, a leader, and a friend to many. For years, Jack worked tirelessly to build the tennis program and to also build strong athletes. His commitment to excellence on the courts was matched only by his dedication to the personal growth and success of his students. Under his guidance, countless students learned lessons of perseverance, sportsmanship, and teamwork, values that extend far beyond the game of tennis.
Thank you for everybody who supported with letters and messages to the board to get this over the finish line. On behalf of my whole family, this is such a humbling thing for us. You're 24 hours or less from my dad's birthday, so your timing is perfect. I know he would love this. He would hate the attention, but he would love it to death. So thank you all. I appreciate it. This is great.
A fitting tribute to a man whose legacy continues to inspire Falmouth students, athletes, and educators. The newly dedicated courts will stand as a lasting testimony to his commitment to excellence in both sports and education.
The Cape agricultural season is coming to a close, with farmers planting one last round before frosty days hit. I think we had a frosty morning this morning, so we are close.
The coming of fall also means
Cranberries.
There you go.
Love cranberries.
Which in some places are tough enough to grow even without farmers' help. The Falmouth Agricultural Commission has been inviting locals to come pick on public land. I stopped by to grab a handful and get a little cranberry briefing from Commission Chair Stan Ingram.
Nice.
Falmouth Conservation Commission, who has oversight of this area, agreed to allow the Agricultural Commission to do what they could to prevent this bog from completely reverting to overgrown wildness. And we pretty much just mowed a large area, cut down some of the saplings.
Okay.
So this bog is not connected to a water source any longer. So we are completely at the mercy of nature.
Of the weather.
Of the weather.
Yeah.
If it's if we get a late frost during bloom, we're out of luck. That's it. And that's what happened last year. Is we had that late cold snap, and so there were hardly any berries, and I mean hardly any. This year, weather was in our favor. The bog ditches kept pretty up full of water and ideal conditions during bloom, and so there's a good amount of cranberries out here to be picked this year. And all these little clumps of trees that you see were large clumps, like that height, and they were all through here, and we spent a good many days and hours cutting them all down, piling them up, and the Falmouth Department, DPW, came and chipped it for us. So now we have to, this winter we'll go out, cut them down again, and keep at it.
Here we go. We got a big clump right here. Are you looking for a clump?
Yeah.
And they come off quite easily, eh?
They do. They come right off, and then you can pick out the bad ones and just keep your good ones.
Gotcha. And then what will you do with these cranberries? Are you going to make cranberry bread?
Probably not. That's a little too in-depth for me. So I just throw some in my oatmeal in the morning.
Oh, that's a nice idea, actually.
I cook some up, and I'll cook some and make a puree, put them in a blender, make a puree, and then I add that to a muffin batter.
How long do you think it would take to fill up a bucket?
It takes me about an hour to fill up a quart.
Okay. The trick is to pick them and put them in your pocket before you eat them.
Well, that is a trick.
So it used to be that they put sand to make these bogs. They don't have sand being trucked in here, right?
The growers have access to sand.
Okay.
And so they, in the days of old, when we had more consistent cold weather in the winter time, so they would flood the bog, let it freeze, and then they'd be able to drive out with their sanding equipment and just put a layer of sand out. And what that does is the berries form on the growing tip of the vine. And so after time, that growing tip is, at the end of a 12-inch or 14-inch vine.
Yeah.
So the sand would just weigh down
hold it down.
Hold down the non-growing stuff. Nice day.
Thank you so much. You're so informative. We could spend hours on this, but thank you. Appreciate you and all the work the Agricultural Commission does as well.
Well, they have been. I'd like to put a plug in for my agricultural people, and Karen Schwabe, Amy Vickers, Jane Voth, Warren Collins, Jack and Matt Churchill, Jack Simmons.
Absolutely.
All make it come together.
In a full group, or are you looking for any more members right now?
We are not. We are a full group, but
Great.
we will be having some members that have reached their term limit and their 3-term. So they've served
So they're
their
kind of
9 years.
expiring.
Right.
Yeah.
So.
So you're going to look for new members soon.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So I'll be waiting for my cranberry bread, right?
Yeah, sure. With nuts or without?
Absolutely. We'll go all the way.
All right, I'm doing it.
When you think of cranberries, it seems like you just can't help but think of Cape Cod. And when you think of Cape Cod, you probably think, well, water. It is all around us on this peninsula, and keeping our waters clean is the mission of a local group who manages to have a lot of fun while caring for the ecosystem.
They really do have fun. In the next segment of the Saving Our Pond series, we shine a spotlight on the incredible work of a truly inspiring group of women. Old Ladies Against Underwater Garbage, or OLOG. And this team, made up of women aged 64 to 85, has taken it upon themselves to clean up Cape Cod's ponds, one dive at a time. From removing trash that's been underwater for centuries to reminding us of the importance of protecting our natural resources. So let's dive in and see how they're turning the tides on our environment.
Excellent.
I think it makes us feel as if we're 12 years old again. It's that great neighborhood gang that you had when you were 12, and you had a fort built out of pieces of plywood and a special cap that meant that you were, a real member. And it's fun. This is the Old Ladies Against Underwater Garbage. We have formed about 5 years ago. And so we take out the trash that's fallen for the last 150, 200 years. At the end of every dive, we come ashore with all this stuff. And people around us say, oh, that is so disgusting. That is so slimy. You are so brave to do this. And it's just the opposite of what we think. We think, wow, this was so cool. Did you see that? You never know what you're going to find. You never know what you're going to see. The ponds are the last remnants of undisturbed natural beauty on Cape Cod. They've never been built on, they've never been crossed by trails. They are the last little remnants that we've got. And let's keep them as pristine as possible. For the enjoyment of people? Nah, not for me anyway. It's for the enjoyment of the fish, occasional eel, and the snapping turtles, and the musk turtles, and the painted turtles. We do it for nature. We're on the side of the natural world. By the end of half an hour, we have people saying, gee, this is our pond, and we're proud of this pond, and we need to take better care. I've decided that there's no one force that's going to help turn around our attitude toward nature, because our attitude toward nature has got to change. It is our home. It is what we breathe, what we eat. It's more important than we are. And we've got to become citizens of a common world. We really are up for improving the water quality in every way we can, help the health of the pond. And so that's our job.
It's amazing to see how a group like OLOG is not only cleaning up our ponds, but also inspiring a renewed sense of responsibility for the natural world. Their dedication to preserving these pristine environments is a powerful reminder that every effort counts when it comes to protecting our planet. We look forward to seeing their continued impact as they restore Cape Cod's ponds, one dive at a time.
I love it, but I'm thinking, maybe instead of old ladies, it should be middle-aged ladies, because 60 is the new 40, and they're starting at 64. I don't know.
Amen.
Just a little thought for you there.
I can't wait to join them. I think it looks so fun.
Be a lot of fun. So that's going to wrap up our show for the moment. I'm Michael Kasparian.
And I'm Eileen Preston. We leave you now with sights and sounds from the Farming Falmouth Service Garden, hosted by Tony Andrews Farm. Until next time.
See you around town.